Welcome to the Exposer. So, came across this old video of PT, and I just felt like it was important to talk about that. So I'll show you the clip after I just break down a few things and make you guys understand one thing. In this video, you'll see him first of all insulting people's parents, people's dads to be precise, because that's what he refers to every time someone even questions him. And he's mainly talking about prophesying, and I believe I've done a video exposing his brother, who's someone that always prophesizes on things that never ever seems to be true. PT himself the same, but in this video he tries to downplay people that prophesize, and that especially the ones that come and tell you, for example, they believe you've been to jail, or they believe you've got someone in your family that has an issue or something like that. But the funny thing about him basically insulting people that prophesize like that is the fact that he does the same thing, his brother does the same thing, and he's trained his members, or should I say his members have learnt from him to do those false prophecies. Because during our time at SPAC, this is something that was very common. A lot of the fake pastors that are at SPAC, talking about the new ones, especially the ones that don't even know or understand the word of God, they would come to you and tell you that apparently seen certain things about you, or basically there was a vision that came in their heads, and they saw you being somewhere that they believe the Lord has guided them to. Basically face prophecies, and then you will tell them that no, actually you've never been to those places, or you've never encountered this incident, or you've never been to prison. And they'll end up telling you maybe it's a spiritual thing. They'll try to quickly find something to make sense of this false prophecy. And the video I'm about to show you, basically PT is insulting people that prophesy like this, but 99.9% of the pastors at SPAC have been involved for prophesying like this, so it's quite funny.
Let me say this to you guys. I believe in the prophetic. But if somebody comes to our midst and gives a word to you and it's not correct, stop being an idiot. Stop making it correct. You understand? Stop making it correct by looking for, oh, it can mean this, oh, maybe it means that. And say there's a problem going on in your life. Say, none, I'm cool, sir. Well, I see that you've been to jail. No, your dad has been to jail. I haven't. So how can you reply a prophet like that? Yeah, because you're talking gibberish. You're talking beer nonsense. I've not been to jail. Your dad has been there. You just saw your dad came back to you. It's simple. There's no mindset word. What the hell do you mean I've been to jail? That's why I wore this shirt. You can call it anything you want. It's called Vendi, right? It's called Vendi. No, I've not been to jail. So this guy comes back and told me, well, it could be spiritual jail. I'm like, okay, stay there then. Your dad has been to jail. I've not been to jail. Shut up, man. You know, we can prophesy out of excitement. We all do it. Maybe I do it too. We just prophesy because we're excited.
The funny thing about that video is at the beginning when he actually mentions how if someone comes and basically tells you a prayer or prophesizes and you know that it's not true, don't try and find something to make it sound like it's true. You know, because sometimes a pastor might tell you something that in your mind you know hasn't happened, but because it's someone that you trust in, you tend to think that it is true. There's something deep inside it. There's a meaning behind it. And the funny thing about it, this is what every single SPAC Nation member does with PT himself. We're talking about a man that's opened a church for about 12 years now, has prophesied his church will have 10,000 members by the end of this year. This church will have multiple amount of souls all over the country, in different countries. We're talking about a man that prophesies how SPAC will have their own currency, SPAC will become their own nation, SPAC will have their own buildings, SPAC will have all of these things. And he even, when PT prophesies, he even gives you the year. And in 2018, he believed his SPAC will have 10,000 souls. And we're talking about a man who's prophesied about so many things that have never come true. And guess what? His members always seem to believe there's a deeper meaning behind it. They always seem to believe there's a deeper meaning. So I believe for him to say that is showing that he is, in fact, the biggest hypocrite in history of church or movement or cult, whatever you guys want to call it. And it's just ironic how he can come out and say such a thing when all of his members do the same thing with him. They do the same thing with his brother. That's all he ever says, and there's videos to back that. There's so many videos on this channel to back that. He prophesied that his church will hold a service at the Royal Albert Hall. Guess what? That has never happened. He even prophesied before how SPAC will have a service at Wembley. They will sell out an arena, a stadium. Guess what? That is never going to happen. And that has never happened. And all we know is what has happened is church has decreased by more than half. They don't have venues and they don't make as much money as before. And what we know has happened is he's obviously operated a loan system in his church to even generate money. And so SPAC do not have their own independence, their own nations, their own currencies. They do not have 10,000 souls. They don't even have 1,000 members. And they don't even have a venue. SPAC are not global. Despite him sending members to different countries right now to do certain projects to help his cause, SPAC do not have they're not known in many other countries. So we see every lie that he's putting out and no one is fooled by it.